This is for a very narrow group, but a very good group. You are assembly candidates looking to win as independent candidates. I'm one of them. I am running for 2 possible assembly seats. And my message to you is a very hopeful one, that I don't think you should be thinking, oh, I'll be the one getting 5 or 6% this year. This is the year you can send a party into 3rd place, a major, and very possibly really get that election yourself. Here is why the Republicans are going to have a brutal time, and you could be the 2nd place finisher. It speaks for itself. But it doesn't speak the same way in Connecticut as it does in the southern and Midwest states. Donald Trump does have a fervent following, and you hear about that in national broadcasts, okay? So when you see the national broadcast saying how good Trump's influences is, they're skipping over how bad it is in the Northeast. Please trust me in this regard, because I've spoken with now over 15,000 people. Now, not too many of the conversations went deep, but when you get deep with, say, 200 or so, and Trump is a non-starter for people who are voters 95% of the time. Literally, the pro-Trump, and therefore he'd reject you, that voter is about 5% of Connecticut's population. So please don't be misled by how nationally he might be faring. And unfortunately, Trump himself is going to be misled, plus his own hubris, so he's still going to be a bigger and bigger factor as the weeks roll close to the election. That is hurtful to every Republican in Connecticut. And you might be a Republican running as an independent, but tout the independent and not the Republican. Now here's factor 2. It's the people who want change and see in Republicans an inability to change. Okay, they may see in Democrats something worse, but the Republicans don't stand up. Exhibit B. Yes, that is former House Leader Demis Claridis, who in her time as leader couldn't stand up to the Democrat excesses, okay? The reason we are in such a bad state governmentally, we're in a great state with everything other than government, is in part because of rhinos like her. And maybe better than rhino, but they don't stand up very effectively. And so we end up with big spending. We end up spending on stupid things, including paying people who don't want to work. My biggest regret. So when you have a candidate who is clearly in bed with, and that's literal with Themis, Eversource, and in bed with other big corporations, Pfizer, big healthcare, big insurance companies, and with government now tying themselves to that, you, the outside independent of both that Democrat-Republican duopoly, I think you have a great case to make. Final case for why I think your chances are really good is this next exhibit, because it exemplifies the go along, don't make big waves problems. And as good a man as Bob Stefanowski is, as good as some of his ideas are, he and mostly his handlers don't push them to the hilt. And they elide all other ideas that are even better. The cultural conservatism that he is not even touching is what will touch voters. So I hope that you are strong and push, and with it, see the independents rise to at least major party status. That's 20% if we get a strong governor candidate. And in your case, as an assembly person, that you actually take the seat. I'm with you. Look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail and maybe doing some work together. I'm Mark Stewart.